Up next, we have Tim Mann. Tim is a proud husband and father from Chelsea, Michigan. He is married to his wonderful wife, Samantha, and together they have two daughters, Adeline and Reagan. Tim works as a peak performance coach and has trained thousands of individuals in breath work, cold water immersion, heat exposure, and mindset. He has worked with top-tier athletic programs such as the University of Houston football, University of Michigan soccer, and University of Detroit Mercy basketball. Tim is a published research scientist, recently co-authoring a paper with Wayne State University Psychiatry and Behavioral Neuroscience Department. He also works as a licensed professional counselor, owning and operating a private counseling practice. Tim has a master's degree in counseling from the University of Detroit Mercy, where he served as a graduate assistant for the basketball program, and a bachelor's degree in outdoor recreation and leadership management from Northern Michigan University. Tim loves working in the field of mental health as well as athletics. He loves to spend time outdoors swimming, hiking, kayaking, cross-country skiing, and spending time with family. Man, he is busy. Tim's topic is optimizing your health with the Wim Hof Method. Welcome, Tim. And you already had the mic.
Thank you for that introduction. Thank you, Yoga Moves MS, for having me here today. I truly feel honored to be here. And what I teach outside, my basic job is a school counselor. I work in the schools Monday through Friday in a high school in Chelsea. Stand back. So I work as a school counselor Monday through Friday, but on the side, I offer Wim Hof Method workshops. And these workshops are rare. You can think of them as being underground. And you can think of them being underground. What I teach is something that's actually underground and inside of you. This thing that I teach is something that you can unlock that's inside of you to help optimize your health and performance. What I love so much about what I teach is that it's low cost and it's accessible. I teach you how to breathe properly and how to use cold water immersion to really optimize your mental and physical health. So let's get into that. This is the Wim Hof Method. I was already introduced. So what is the Wim Hof Method? It's a combination of having a growth mindset, doing breath work, and cold water immersion. And when you combine those three pillars, it helps construct a happy and healthy life. And lucky for me, when I found out about the Wim Hof Method, it was at the perfect time. And a huge part of it is having a growth mindset. And I've been learning that growth mindset through my father my whole life. My dad, he's sitting over here today. He was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 30 some years ago. And this guy struggles to do basic life functioning that I take for granted every day. Things like putting my socks on or taking a short walk. And this guy, throughout all those struggles, has the most resilient and positive mindset. And so when I heard on the Wim Hof Method about having a growth mindset, I just thought of my dad and how much of an impact he's had on me throughout my life. It just really resonated with me. And so props to Pops. He's why I'm here today. So thank you, Dad. So how did I get here? Obviously my dad and my mom, but further than that, I was hit by a drunk driver while I was parked on the side of the highway back in 2017. I fractured 11 bones, suffered fractured ankle, tore my medial meniscus, lacerated my liver, dislocated my jaw, smacked my head really good, and fractured my skull in multiple places. Got rushed to the ICU. They had to perform emergency brain surgery because I had all this intracranial hypertension. My brain started to swell up like a balloon. So they drilled a hole into my brain to save my life. Thank God. In a coma for 8 days, came out of that coma, was diagnosed with an emergent mood disorder, which is common after traumatic brain injury of that severity, and PTSD, and addicted to painkillers. I got out of that hospital setting and was going through rehabilitation, and I came across the Wim Hof Method. And when I heard about the Wim Hof Method, like I said, it just really resonated with me. Again, it's a growth mindset, a certain breathwork technique, and cold water immersion. Now, I couldn't take a cold shower at this time because I had a neck brace on and an arm sling and a boot, but I could breathe. And so I started doing rounds upon rounds upon rounds of this breath work every day. And the best way I can explain it is it rewired my nervous system. We're going to talk about the breath work and exactly what it does, but it helped give me a sense of control in my life. It helped me gain control of my mood. My mood was up and down all day, every day. It gave me control of that mood, and it gave me a sense to a will to live again and really make something out of my life. So it really saved my life. So what does it do? It teaches individuals how to use low cost and accessible resources to optimize their health and performance. What does practicing the Wim Hof Method look like? It's really simple. It's having a dedicated mindset, practicing every day and doing a simple breathwork practice and doing a cold shower, or if you can, an ice bath. So who is Wim Hof Method for? Almost everybody. There are some contraindications with the method, but I've ran tons and tons of workshops. I've had people from the ages of 16 to 87. And it's amazing running these workshops because you get to build community, you see people come together, connect with each other, and do something that's really hard. And they do it together. So you really strengthen bonds and relationships at these workshops. That's a picture up in the UP where we all went in together in the middle of the lake. Fantastic. Had to share it. All right, so there was an endotoxin study done. If you don't know who Wim Hof is, he's kind of a wild man. He's got 26 Guinness World Records. He has submerged himself in ice from his toes up to his neck and raised his core body temperature. And so that really gained him scientific attention. And once he did that, we started studying him. And they found amazing things going on in his body when he would do this breathing practice and when he would do cold water immersion. And then so he came up with this method and started teaching other people. And they soon found it wasn't Wim who was special. It was this method that was special, and that these things happen in everybody's body when they follow this protocol. This endotoxin study. Wim was making claims that he didn't get sick. So what did they do? Radboud University, they injected him with an endotoxin, E. coli, dead shell of bacteria, makes 100 out of 100 people sick. Cold sweats, fevers, diarrhea, sick, E. coli. He gets injected with this E. coli, practices the breathing exercise, no symptoms. They say, oh, you must have special genetics. He says, let me train 12 guys. They applied for a grant. He got it. They took 12 guys up into the mountains of Poland, taught them breath work, cold water immersion, and a growth mindset in just 4 days. Those 12 guys returned to Radboud University, all got injected with E. coli, no symptoms. All 18 guys in the control group got sick. And again, this is published research, right? I'm not just making this up. You can look this up online. It seems hard to believe, but let me tell you, if you practice the breath work, you will feel in your body what I'm talking about. And that's understanding. I can talk to my face is blue. You won't get it. But if you try the breath work, you will understand because you'll start to feel things special. So benefits of the breathing. When you do this breath work, you get these cell messaging proteins called interleukin 10. You get a huge boost of these. These are anti-inflammatory cell messaging proteins. They help kill inflammation in the body. Pretty cool. You also get a huge boost of adrenaline. You get more adrenaline when you practice this breath work than somebody who's actually bungee jumping. So let me tell you really briefly, it's not sitting quietly in a room alone and focusing on your breathing, although that's fantastic as well. It's called cyclical hyperventilation. It's a fancy term for deep breathing. You do 30 deep breaths in a row, and then you hold your breath. And when you do that, your body releases adrenaline and interleukin 10 and decreases inflammation. Another cool thing is, we can go weeks without food. We can go days without water, but we can only go minutes without breathing. And yet a lot of us don't pay attention to our breath. A lot of us will breathe from our chest. We're not in tune with our diaphragm and know how to breathe into our belly. And we learn how to belly breathe and get that oxygen down deep into our system. You can alleviate a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety in your life. So that's another bonus about coming to a workshop is I'll teach you how to breathe properly. Safety. You never want to do this if you're pregnant, if you're epileptic, or if you have a serious underlying heart condition. You never want to do it in or near the water. Some people, if they push themselves too far, you can pass out, right? If you're doing deep breathing over and over again, you start to get lightheaded. So again, don't do it in or near the water or operating heavy machinery. Cold exposure, another pillar of the method. It's a hormetic stressor. So we know that acute stressors, short-term stressors are very healthy for the brain and body. Long-term stress, chronic stress, not good, but short-term stressors like exercise, yoga, cold water immersion, saunas, really good for you. Even the breath work that we teach in the workshops, it's an acute stressor because it's breath work. You have to work through that portion. It does take effort. So something really cool, as a mental health professional, I love this slide. If you spend just 1 minute in cold water, 59 degrees Fahrenheit or below, so Lake Superior any time of year, 59 degrees Fahrenheit or below, you get over a 500% increase in noradrenaline. That, a lot of antidepressants, not all of them, but a lot of antidepressants on the market will target noradrenaline receptors in your brain. So it's a natural mood enhancer. You also get a huge increase in dopamine. Dopamine goes up 250%, just 1 minute in cold water. It's amazing. Mood and energy affected for 6 to 8 hours after you do your intervention. Okay, you also get cold shock proteins when you submerge yourself in cold water. Those are anti-inflammatory, so you can decrease inflammation as well. You also get a great mindful practice. You're very present when you're taking your cold shower. You're not thinking about picking up your child from daycare or paying your mortgage. You are very much so in the moment. You also get to train your entire cardiovascular network. And so you have 80,000 some miles of veins, arteries, and capillaries that run through your body. That cardiovascular network, there's little muscles that go through it. And when you do consistent cold exposure every day, those little muscles get stronger. And so your heart has to beat less. So I've had countless people who wear Apple Watches contact me after a workshop saying, hey, I've been practicing for a month and my resting heart rate has gone down 20 beats per minute. So it's amazing. You strengthen your cardiovascular system significantly. And one of the biggest killers of people worldwide is cardiovascular related diseases. So that's a nice hidden benefit. And again, it's just cold water. We all got access to cold water. It's low cost and it's accessible. Okay, there have been some studies done. We need more evidence, right? Always need more research. There's been a lot of small studies done. One of those being the effect that Wim Hof Method has on autoimmune disorders. And what they found in 2019 was they studied 24 people who suffered from axial spondyloarthritis. And they found in the intervention group that they had lower levels of inflammation compared to the other. So more research is needed, yes. Some preliminary studies and anecdotal evidence suggest possible benefits. So go to wimhofmethod.com, look at the testimonials section, and just listen to some of these people's stories. There's countless people who have suffered from multiple sclerosis who have used this method to help manage their symptoms. And there's some really great stories on there. And I think it can help a lot of people if you take the time to check it out. All right, immune system modulation. We know that the breath work helps strengthen the immune system. So since MS is an immune-mediated disease characterized by inflammation and damage to the nervous system, some proponents believe that the method's effects on the immune system may have potential benefits for MS patients. Helps with stress reduction. There's no doubt about that. You get to learn how to master the stress response. When you put yourself in cold water, it's a dangerous situation. It's stressful. You learn how to breathe through that. And that gives you confidence. That gives you mental resilience. And that actually transfers over to other domains of your life. So you'll be able to handle that tough conversation with your spouse more effectively, or handle that conversation with your boss more effectively. Thermoregulation. Cold exposure, a key component of the Wim Hof Method, is believed to improve thermoregulation and activate the body's natural mechanisms for maintaining homeostasis. Some individuals with MS may experience heat sensitivity, and the ability to regulate body temperature through practices like cold exposure could potentially be beneficial. Again, there's limited clinical studies. I'm not recommending that anybody in this room go out and try the Wim Hof Method. That's not what I'm recommending. I'm recommending you do your own research and you have a conversation with your primary care physician to see if this method's right for you. I want to show you, there's a lot of great testimonials on the WimHofMethod.com website with people with a wide variety of autoimmune disorders. If you go to WimHofMethod.com, click on testimonials, you can find a lot more stories of people who have found benefit from this method. specifically with autoimmune disorders and a plethora of other disorders as well.
Thank you. We've got a question from the internet.
Yeah.
Hi, our virtual attendee is asking, will a cold shower suffice or do you need to submerge? And are there studies and protocols developed that look at using the Wim Hof method specifically for MS? Or are there any being conducted? And they also asked if you could put the microphone closer to your mouth.
I absolutely can put the microphone closer to my mouth. A cold shower works wonders. It's not as good as fully submerging into an ice plunge, but it's still very good for you. So if you can get in a cold shower, do it. There's no current research or past research done specifically with MS. I'm hopeful for the future.
Any other questions? Oh, we've got one in the back here. Hold on.
Hi. So I deal with seizures. So has anyone actually did this that has seizures?
That's a great question. I've had individuals with epilepsy in my workshops, but I do require that they get a doctor's note from their neurologist. So short answer is yes, but you need a doctor's note to participate in a workshop.
Anybody else back here? I know we've got another online virtual question, right? No? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, we've got in person.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the difference between the yoga breath is. I'd like to know what the difference between the yoga breath is and the breath that you do with your the Wim or
The
whatever.
Wim Hof.
The Wim Hof.
Great question. So yoga meditation to me, I'm not a yoga instructor, but yoga meditation to me seems mostly about mindfulness, paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Wim Hof method breathing is taking 30 deep breaths in a row, really big deep breaths, filling up your belly, then your chest, just lightly letting it go, and then right into the next one. So you're really doing that over and over again for 30 times. And then you go into a breath hold. And after you hold your breath, you take a big inhale in, hold it for 15 seconds, let it go. That's one round. And then you keep going. You do 3 to 4 rounds, and each round you go deeper and deeper and start activating more and more of the body's potential.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else?
All right, real quick, I did co-author a research paper with Wayne State recently. It shows there's implications for the Wim Hof method and anxiety. We're working on a new study right now, a 5-year study, going to generalize these findings to the public once we run it. So that's really exciting. Trying to think what else I got here for you. Won't take time to go over that, although it's a great slide. If you want to check out my website, you go to trainthebrainllc.com or wimhofmethod.com. I do workshops all over the state, and this is my side gig. I'm not concerned about making a bunch of money doing this. If you are struggling financially and you can't afford the $150 workshop, you reach out to me, send me an email. We'll figure something out. All right. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate you.